Do you think you truly understand the people around you? You believe you're perceptive enough to sense when someone carries toxic energy, when a behavior crosses the line of what's acceptable. But what if I told you the real dangers aren't as obvious as you think? That the people who cause the deepest wounds are often not the villains, but the gentle ones, the kind ones, sometimes even your loved ones. And while you're busy protecting yourself from the obvious threats, you might unknowingly leave the door to your mind wide open to something far more dangerous, the unconscious of others, slipping in and quietly merging with your own. No noise, no threat, just closeness, kindness, familiarity. Because the human psyche doesn't just carry pain, it projects that pain onto others. And when someone refuses to face the darkness within themselves, it doesn't disappear. It searches for another place to land. And that place might be you. So if you notice someone displaying these 9 signs, stop engaging. Cut off contact. Don't let them in. 1. The unconscious manipulator. They don't yell. They don't threaten. But every time you talk to them, you walk away exhausted. Why? Because you're not really being seen. You're being used as a mirror. They project their own feelings onto you. Suddenly, you're the cold one, the toxic one, the problem. And you start questioning yourself. Did I actually do something wrong? But it's not you. You've just stepped into someone else's inner battle. They're wounded, and without knowing it, they're pulling you in. As Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. They don't manipulate with anger. They do it with vulnerability. And if you're not careful, you'll give until you forget how to feel. 2. The persona bearer. They're always calm, always polite, always fine, but something about it feels fake. They've built a perfect mask, no mess, no moods, no mistakes, but inside they've forgotten who they really are. They've buried their true feelings just to be liked, and they expect you to do the same. You find yourself shrinking, being nice, avoiding conflict, not being too much. But over time, that's exhausting. It's like acting every day. Jung said the more you identify with the persona, the more you suppress your true self. Behind their perfection is someone desperate to be real. And if you're not careful, you'll lose yourself trying to match their energy. 3. The repressed one. They seem strong, calm, mature, moral, but you feel like you're walking on eggshells. Why? Because deep down, they've buried their real emotions: anger, jealousy, sadness. And repressed feelings don't disappear. They build pressure. One day, it leaks out in passive-aggressive comments, judgmental looks, cold silence. You start censoring yourself, afraid of setting them off. You start feeling guilty just for being real. Jung said, the shadow doesn't only contain darkness, it also hides your forgotten strength. But if they reject their own shadow, they'll never be able to accept the real you. 4. The moral controller. They never yell. They just want what's best for you. But somehow, you always feel wrong. Always trying to earn approval, always apologizing. They talk about values, principles, doing the right thing. But their morality isn't about love, it's about control. They see your flaws and quietly judge them, often without realizing it. And you start wondering, am I broken? Jung warned, when morality is only a mask, it becomes one of the most dangerous forms of spiritual repression. Around them, you don't grow. You shrink into a version of yourself that's small, careful, and disconnected from your own needs. 5. The complexed person. They're kind, soft, sensitive. Then suddenly, they're distant, cold, or angry, and you have no idea why. This is what Jung called the complexed. Someone ruled by unresolved emotional memories. It's not you they're reacting to. It's their past. But you adjust. You watch your words. You tiptoe around them. You change who you are just to keep the peace. They're not trying to hurt you. They're just not aware of their own wounds. And without knowing it, you start carrying pain that never belonged to you. 6. The energy drainer, psychic vampire. No yelling, no abuse, just tiredness. After talking to them, you feel empty. They open up to you, trust you, rely on you, and at first, it feels good to be needed. But slowly, you lose your energy and your boundaries. They say things like, "You're the only one I can talk to. I just need you for a minute." But soon, they take over your space, your time, even your identity. And you feel guilty for wanting space. You give, until there's nothing left. And sometimes you realize, I've done this to someone too. 7. The one-sided relationship. They don't insult you. They don't scream. But you always feel invisible. You're the one who listens, who shows up, who supports. But when you need something real, silence. You start asking yourself, is this still a relationship? Because when your needs disappear and only their needs matter, you're not in a connection. You're in a performance. A real relationship is two people meeting each other honestly. If only one side exists, it's not love, it's loneliness. 8. The boundary breaker. They don't hit you, but they cross emotional lines. Constantly, they pressure, they push. They don't accept no, and make you feel guilty for saying it. You lose space, you lose your voice, you start living by their rules. Jung said, "We cannot awaken consciousness without boundaries. Without boundaries, you lose your identity. And love without respect is not love at all." 9. When respect fades. The most dangerous thing someone can take from you isn't love. It's respect. When respect disappears, everything else falls apart. Sarcasm replaces care. Dismissiveness replaces presence. And you begin to doubt yourself. Am I too sensitive? Should I just stay quiet? But silence doesn't protect you. It just makes you easier to hurt. Jung said, "Nothing erodes the self more than being consistently ignored." Without respect, even love can feel like a trap. Final thoughts. We all have a shadow. Every one of us carries a little bit of these types inside. We've been hurt, and yes, we've hurt others too. The goal isn't to shame, it's to see with compassion. Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." So ask yourself, which of these have you experienced? Which one lives inside of you? And what are you finally ready to face? Because healing doesn't begin when we run from toxic people. It begins when we finally see ourselves clearly and choose something different.